Well, it's been a long time coming, but we finally have our own humble little studio. But it still beats doing everything in our one-bedroom apartment, recording and mixing and mastering everything in our living room. So I'm here to give you the full tour of everything we've got, all of our gear, all the new designs and everything, so let's jump right in. All right, here is our filming wall. We definitely wanted a wall that we could just set up some cameras and set up some lights and quickly film some updates for different things that we're doing. So we have this really cool grunge wallpaper. We've got all of our albums on canvas here. Anhedonia, Death and Resurrection. This is our newest album. It just came out in August. We encourage you to go check it out and listen if you haven't listened. We're really proud of it. It's a double album about coming through a lot of disappointment and hardship and kind of finding a lot of hope on the other side. So I think a lot of people can really vibe with that. If you haven't checked it out, we'd encourage you to do so. We've got 2 acoustic panels. We actually build those ourselves. A couple boards of wood, a little bit of rock wool, and it's all good. Sounds great. We've got our LED Stands on Sapphire sign, which Beth ordered for me a couple of years ago. It was a really cool gift she got. And we've got our little buddy Link. He's been a part of our studio recording process. He always looks at us very disappointed and encourages us to strive to the greatest heights we can possibly strive for. And lastly, we have our little purple chaise lounge. This is a temporary piece right now. We have a big full-size 3-person purple couch in kind of like a Victorian Chesterfield style on order, but unfortunately it's not going to be here until either December or the new year. So we didn't want to wait for that to film it, so we just kind of put this cover, this purple cover, over the lounge for now, and that's the filming wall. We're super proud of it, and if you haven't seen, we actually put this wallpaper up ourselves. We have a full video of a time-lapse of us building this room. You can see us putting the wallpaper on, you can see us hanging all the canvases, building the panels, all of that. So if you want to see that, go check it out on our channel. All right, so in this corner, we'll start with these. These are our jamming mics. So this is for me, Wade, and Beth. We're all big fans of SE, so these are SE V7 mics. We've got a black one, we've got a white one, and then this is Beth in chrome, and she's dyed a purple cover in there, which we're gonna add to the other ones as well, so it's super on brand. Other than these, in this corner, we have this Essential Marshall mini fridge, which we've had for a little bit, but we bought it specifically for this studio. Obviously, if you open it, it's filled with an accoutrement of beverages that we can have while we're recording, or if other people come to record, just to make it a more enjoyable experience. And then on top, we've got our tube clock for vibes. This whole area is just for vibes. We've got a really cool Gothic lamp. It's a Wi-Fi light, so we can change the color, we can make it music mode, we can do whatever we want. And we got this really sick decor piece, this floral skull, which is just very much our band and our brand. Beth bought some really cool Halloween flowers, which is ultimately just like our all-year decor, but it's a great time to get it for us because we like that kind of black purple Gothic look. So we just get all of our interior decor in October. It's great. And then we just have some LED signs. So we'll start here. I found this one. We love Japan, and obviously skulls are kind of a cool vibe for us. So I saw this LED sign of this skull ramen bowl, and I was like, I have to have that. This is a painting that Beth did for me years ago of Majora's Mask. It's one of my favorite video games of all time. I love the Zelda series, as you can tell from Link. We're all big fans of Zelda, so there's a lot of Zelda merch around here. And then lastly, we have just a cross of nails, which I just thought was I was looking for a cool, like, Christianity based LED sign, because I wanted something like that in here, and a lot of them are just like really cheesy quotes, and I saw this one, I was like, that's actually like a cool LED sign, so we bought it for the studio. All right, in this corner, we have the guitar gear. On the floor here is my pedal board. I've got the Neural DSP Quad Cortex, which I've been using for years, and we use all of their plugins when we record our albums. Amazing piece of tech. It only gets better and better. It's hooked up to my 2 foot pedals, so I've got one regular one, and I've got one on a spring, so I can have like a spring-loaded wall, like the Bad Horsey pedal. And then I've got my power supply, and then just my Shure wireless, which is amazing for live. Once you go wireless, you never go back. This one is probably the best one I've found for the price that really didn't impact the tone that much. I find a lot of them suck a lot of the low end out of the tone and just makes it sound tinny. So I really like that one. Next up, we got the guitars. So let's check out my babies here. This is my first one, the Aristides. I love this guitar. It's in a lilac finish. I actually called it Lila based on the lilac finish, as well as the song Layla. by Eric Clapton. I love that song, so I thought the two of them together made kind of a cool name. I've got the bare knuckle Ragnarok pickups in it, which sound unbelievable. Got a kill switch on it for some fun little shenanigans live and on recording. And on the back here, I've got a trem lock, so I can do different tunings with the whammy bar, which is really nice. And then just the fact that this guitar is not made out of wood, it's made out of their own materials in the mold. The upper fret access is just unbelievable on this thing. So if you like the guitar tone on our newest album, Anhedonia, I did every recording with this guitar. So every sound, everything you hear is with just this guitar. I loved how it sounded, so I'm really stoked on it. Next up, we got my Kiesel. So this is a really pretty guitar in the antique ash finish with purple kind of faded burst on it. We got the Crunch Slab and the Liquefier pickups in a zebra finish with black poles on it. We've got a push-pull knob on the front. On the back, you can see we have a battery in this guitar. Actually, it's an active pickup system. So it actually gives me multiple voicings out of these passive pickups, which is really cool, kind of like a more passive sounding. And then when I pull it, it gives me more of like an active sound, more energy coming out of them. We've got the Illuminlay frets and diamonds, so they glow in the dark, which is really cool. Use this guitar a lot on Inviting Warfare. All the solos and leads were done with this guitar on that album. And then we've got my Strandberg. So this guy, I've had the longest of the three. It's got the Fishman Fluence pickups, moderns. Again, like the Kiesel, it's got a push-pull, so I can get different voicings out of the pickup, more of an active, more of a passive. And then I've got a signature from my favorite guitar player in the world, Nuno Betancourt. I got to meet him in California and I got him to sign the guitar, which was really cool. This guitar was used pretty much for everything on Bloom and all the rhythm work on Inviting Warfare. So we used it a lot on those albums. Also on the back here, you've got, Strandberg's signature neck profile with the angled neck instead of the rounded neck, which is really, really fun and different to play when you want to change it up a bit. And lastly, we've got the Tim Henson Ibanez flamenco classical guitar. So this guy is a nylon string, instead of a regular steel string. Got a really cool Tree of Death inlay, I think he calls it, instead of the Tree of Life that Steve Vai made so famous. And then it's just got its pickup on the side there, as well as the sound hole for the acoustic is actually on the top. So it projects the sound right at the player. So it gives you kind of a fuller sound as you're playing it, which is really cool. And we use this on the solo for the song Stasis on the Anhedonia. Really cool guitar. Let's move on to the studio desk. So here's the desk. We'll work through it from right to left so you can kind of see everything going on. Right here is our Apollo Twin. This is our interface from Universal Audio we use to record everything. The preamps are top quality, they sound awesome. It's got tons of cool features like a built-in preamp. This Apollo Twin will mimic old school analog preamp. So right now it's set up to be a Neve preamp, which we always use on Beth Voice for recording. And it also has some volume adjustments there for just the monitor outs as well as your headphones. Over here we have our purple floral skull, which is the same as the black one on the fridge, but we actually ordered this one first. We liked it so much that we ordered the black one as well. We just thought it was such a cool piece of decor. Holds my pens as well as these finger weights, which I use for guitar practice. They're really cool. It has a 10, 20, and 30 grams, or you can pull out or insert anywhere from 10 to 30, and you put them on your finger as you play. And it's kind of like, a weighted vest or something when you run. It's like really hard if you're struggling playing something, you put these on, you get it, pretty solid with the finger weights on, you take them off, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can play this flawlessly. So they work really well for practicing hard parts and making it a lot easier in the long run. Next up, we have our Audient Nero. This is a new piece of gear for us. It's kind of like a desk controller, so you can plug in multiple recording inputs to it as well as multiple outputs to different speakers and stuff. It also has a bunch of different headphone channels that you can plug in on the back here, multiple different headphones so everybody can listen to your mix or whatever else is going on if you're recording lots of people at once. They can all have their own volume and stuff like that. I've got our Universal Audio Apollo plugged into Source 1, and then my Quad Cortex is plugged in all the way from here all the way down to the floor with Source 2, so I can switch between them seamlessly. And then I have our studio monitors plugged into the main. You can add up to 2 other pairs of monitors as well as a sub, but right now we just have our main speaker right now. It's a really cool piece of gear. It's totally transparent. I've tried a few other monitor switchers because I've had the Apollo and the Quad Cortex and I wanted to switch between them easily. And they always color the sound. They change it doesn't sound as good, so it's been excellent. Love it. Next up is just this, I guess it's called Finger Dance. It's just a kind of like a reasonably priced, semi-weighted MIDI controlling keyboard that I use for writing strings, writing piano parts, writing any extra MIDI instruments that I don't have here. This is what I write on. Super easy, nice to practice with. I just wanted more of a natural feel versus that synth feel that has no weights to it. I wanted to feel a bit more like an actual piano. Next is our MacBook Pro. We've used this guy for most of our albums. It's just the M1 Pro chip. It handles everything really well, and it's cool that when you leave it closed like this and have the power source plugged into it, you can use other monitors, and it kind of just acts like your computer tower. So I've got all the plugins over here, the HDMI, and then the Quad Cortex and the Apollo. And then all of our hard drives over here. We have two different Samsung hard drives we used for music recording, as well as the red one is for graphic design and video editing and things like that. Underneath the base here, we have our ART PB 4x4 power conditioner. It's basically like an epic power bar. We can plug a lot, the whole desk is plugged into the back of that thing. It just really, I'm not even sure of the exact term, but as the power comes in, it conditions it so it's evenly spread and everything on the desk gets like clean, consistent energy. When you have a lot of, expensive things on your desk and they're all plugged in, you want to make sure they're all getting good clean signals and there's no chances of surges coming to wreck your brand new monitors or your computer or any of this other awesome gear. How could I forget? I have a heart container drink coaster that I got in Nintendo Tokyo, and it comes with me every desk I ever have. It's awesome. All right, next up we got our monitors. So I just have a basic Scepter kind of curved monitor here, which we've had for quite a while, that I use as kind of the main monitor. And then up here we have our old TV. It's a 65-inch TV, and when we moved here we didn't really need it because the place we moved into had a TV already, so we didn't really know what to do with it. So we're like, well, what if we put it on a stand and use it as a second monitor for anything? And it makes it really easy for mixing and video editing, which is awesome. Next up we have is an hourglass here. It's just a little piece of decor that I like. It's black and purple, obviously to fit with our vibe. It is a 1-hour timer. So I use this as, if some of you heard of the Pomodoro technique, or Pomodoro technique? I forget what's one of those two, but it's an hour. And when I just use that for a mental reference of when I see the sand is completely stopped, I take a break. Next up, this is just a little USB hub we use, plugs into my computer. I've got the TV plugged into here, and then I've got a lot of extra sources for external hard drives and storage and all that kind of stuff. And then we've got this Master Sword Light. This is from Tears of the Kingdom. This is actually a cool little story. It's a limited piece that was run in the lottery system in Tokyo or in Japan called Ichiban Kuji when the Tears of the Kingdom came out, and we were there literally the weekend it came out. We went as the band and we played some shows, and I was looking everywhere for some Ichiban Kuji to win this thing because you had to buy some tickets and hopefully win it, and I wanted to win this because it was limited only in Japan. And I couldn't find it anywhere. Beth and I went again this last April for our anniversary. It was like, I think it was like the last day. We went into a store that we'd already been in. I was kind of looking, maybe I'll find it somewhere. And it's a store called Mandarake, and they get people's secondhand goods or just stuff they haven't opened. They sell it back because they need some cash. We went back to one we'd already been, and I just walked in and it was literally just right there in the front. It's like the day before we left, I was like, well, I have to buy that. I've looked for it the entire trip last time, and here it was right in front of me. So just a really cool story. And last but not least, on the desk, we have these new Barefoot Footprint 03 monitors. These are my new babies. I love them. Been looking at these things for a long time. They sound excellent. I've got a pair of isoacoustic stands for them. So it kind of, as the name implies, isolates the acoustics of the monitor itself, making it kind of feel or sound like the monitor is hanging in midair. So it's not bouncing off of anything. It's not adding any extra bass notes or frequencies or other unwanted harshness. The cool thing about these monitors under here in my desk, I'm using a Logitech MX keyboard, master keyboard, as well as the mouse. Great keyboard and mouse pair if you ever need something for a Mac or a PC. But I have it wired under here. This is for the Barefoots. You can change how they sound between flat, which is the regular, just what you hear is what it sounds like. Hi-Fi is simulating more of like a high-end stereo speaker that you'd get for just listening to music, maybe not mixing, because they tend to add a little more low end, maybe add a bit more high end to make it sound more exciting so you can hear how it sounded that way. Old School is based off of, I believe, the Yamaha NS10s. which is a very classic sounding mixing speaker, generally actually known for not sounding that great, and if you can make your mix sound good on those, it's going to sound good everywhere. And then the cube setting is to mimic car stereos. With just one set of speakers and this knob, I can kind of dial my mix as I'm mixing it and see how it sounds in multiple different scenarios, so it translates better on any kind of system you want to listen to our songs on. I haven't actually mixed anything with these yet, but I've been listening to a lot of music with them and to get my ear trained to our new room and everything, and I can't wait to mix the next songs on it. The last thing about the desk is it's a standing desk. So I really wanted to get a standing desk for the studio because then I could sit down and work, but also stand and work, but especially with music recording or practicing or rehearsal, just when I'm practicing myself, I love playing guitar standing up. I much prefer to play standing up than sitting down, especially if you're practicing for live or anything like that. I think it's unbelievably valuable to practice standing up because that is how you're going to perform. No one performs sitting down. We all have to stand up. So I think standing is essential for practice, and this way I can have a strap on, play guitar, and keep playing, and then, okay, now I want to sit down and I can just go back to seated for mixing and things like that. That's the desk. Let's move on to, this is the rack that we use as a band to practice, basically. We have very simple, this down here doesn't really go into the practicing, but it's our ART headphone amp. And what we do with this is when we record group vocals or anything like that, we bring it out, plug it into the Universal Apollo, and then we can split our signal so everybody can have their own headphone signal with different volumes and panning and whatever they want. So it helps everybody be able to monitor themselves easily. But for the practice setup, we have the Zoom Live Track rack mount, I think it's 20, they call it L20. And what this is just a rack mount mixer. So on the back, we can plug in all of our sources on the back, the vocals, guitar, bass, computer and track and click and all that. And we can dial it in, and it's just our own personal mixer. It has different, A through F monitor outputs, and we can use our iPad to dial in our own individual mixes while we're practicing. So I can hear more guitar, Beth can hear more of a vocal, Wade can hear more of his bass, that kind of stuff. And it feeds into this CAD wireless system. So each one of these four is a wireless mix, right? So we plug our monitor mixes into the back of here, and then we have wireless packs. So we can practice fully wirelessly with our in-ears and make absolutely no noise, but in our ears it's loud and awesome, and it is portable. So it's really easy to practice wherever we need to practice. We really like that system. That's the desk and the rack mount. All right, and here's our studio storage closet. Nothing super exciting, but I figured I'd run you guys through it anyway. So on this side of the closet, we have all the music gear. So we've got my guitar bags, pedal board bags, keyboard bags, all of that, just storage stuff that we need it for, as well as these carts, which have all of our cabling. So I've organized it by, music cables, USB and audio cables, just some basic organization there. I can pull it in and out easily to get what I need, as well as some extra headphones. And then on this rack, we've just got all extra gear. So extra MIDI controller, guitar extras, our in-ear systems, mic bags. Down below, we've got my John Petrucci wah pedal, as well as these are the wireless packs for the wireless jams system I was talking about. And some drumsticks, extra microphone, and all of our hard drives. And at the very bottom there, we've got our smoke machine, some extra guitar straps, and then just some tab books that I've accumulated over the years to learn some different songs that I like from different bands. On the wall, we have all of our cabling. So we just actually got a strip of wood, put some hooks in it, and then just have some nice wall-mounted cable solutions to just keep it clean, have it organized by different cable typings and all that, just to keep it all off the floor and keep them separated, easy access. And then up top, we just have all of our gear. Up top there are different hard cases and all the things that just need to be stored until we need them. And on this side of the closet, we have what looks like not a lot, but it's actually our filming side of the closet. So we have out here, we're using them right now for filming, our lighting systems. So we have enough space in here, which is nice. We can leave the lights set up. Usually we'd have to take them out, put the lights on the stands, plug them in, all that, and now we can just leave them set up in here, which is why there's so much open space. But we just got some extra gear. We got our tripod, some light bags. We also have our sheets we have a big, filming backdrop that we can set up for music videos and stuff. So we got different colors there, white, black, green for green screen, extra tripods, and then that's about it. Just some more empty boxes from all of our gear just for storage purposes. But that's the whole storage closet, nice and organized. It's just nice to have a place where it can all be in one spot for easy access. All right, and last but not least is our recording mic. So this is what Beth uses for all of her vocals. We used it on Anhedonia. It's brand new for us. It's the SE Gemini 2 tube microphone. It sounds awesome because it has a tube. It gives that nice analog warmth to her voice. And we use an Aston Origin metal pop filter with it to help with the plosives. And then we use the Aston Halo, which is basically just a portable vocal recording booth. It gives you proper acoustics and isolates her vocals, which really help with a home studio recording to get top quality vocals without needing a full enclosed booth. We used to have her sing with this into the closet to help with acoustics, but I think with our new space we should have a proper place where she won't have to do that anymore. We're really happy with how these three things work together to give you really nice vocals from your own home studio. Well, that's the tour. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you see the love we poured into building it. If you haven't seen, we also have a video on our channel of a time lapse. We actually time lapse the whole build, and you can go check that out. We've also released our latest album, Anhedonia, Death and Resurrection. As I mentioned before, if you haven't listened to it, we'd love if you would take a listen. It's been a long journey to make that album. It took about 3 years. It was about going through a pretty hard season in life, going through a lot of disappointment, wrestling with despair and hopelessness, and coming out with a fresh perspective, and especially for my wife and I being believers, what God did in our lives through that. And even if you're not a believer, I think there's something for everybody. The world seems to be in a very hard place right now, and a lot of people seem to be really struggling. I know this album can give some hope to anybody, even if you don't share the same belief. So there's something in there for everybody, and we'd really encourage you to go listen to it. It's a huge passion project, and we did absolutely every part of it ourselves, from writing to recording to mixing and mastering, and we're just super proud of it. So go take a listen, rock on. We'll see you guys later.